Are you an exercise coach or on your own wellness journey? You're in the right place. 7 Movements presents. Welcome to the Ask Sinner Show with your hosts, Dan Tatton and John Sinclair.
All right, hi everybody. Welcome to episode 8 of the Ask Sinner Show. Here with John Sinclair. And John, we're going to get right into it here. Is that all right?
Gotcha. Let's hit it.
All right. This was a good question that came in from probably a colleague or a fellow trainer. And he says, "Hi, John. What is your take on why the fitness industry has not been able to improve population health? It seems like there are more and more gyms opening every day, and the stats are showing we, as a population, are getting less and less healthy. What can we in the industry do better?"
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Do we have on this one?
Yeah, we take your time. Let's talk about it.
All right. So I've been coaching in the fitness industry for 20 years now, and it seems that over the last 8 or 10 years, there's been a trend for activity has to get more and more complex, and that becomes a real challenge when most of the demographics of the people that we need to help in this world, and I don't even just mean North America, but I mean worldwide, is that we're reaching a time when our population is getting older. I think the number is, I forget now. We're well into I think there'll be close to 1 billion people over the age of 60 by the year 2025. I think is the stat that I last remember reading. So if you think about it, our population is aging. And so they're not going to have the tolerance for more and more trends of high intense, complex exercise. In fact, we need to make things a little more simple. And by simple, I don't mean not challenging. I mean maybe less complex for a barrier to entry for people. And because when we think about health clubs, we think about, well, how many people are going to be driving through the doors that are going to be able to follow a structured exercise program performed at the gym. And if you have an attrition rate of about 20%, you're doing really well nowadays. Right. So that means 20% of your membership is walking out the doors, which means the clubs have to at least try to get 20% of those people back in new members. I think our advertising and our marketing is a challenge because we're not marketing to those people that really need the help. And the programs that we're offering, quite frankly, I think are scaring the pants off of these people. That they already know wholeheartedly that if I go into the gym and try some of these things, I'm not going to feel very well. Right. And so I think that's where we're going to get a kind of a bust happening where we got a population that's aging. We're not saying that older folks can't do these challenging things, but the barrier to entry for a lot of the folks is that they're mostly inactive, probably not super fit, probably have some arthritis or some pain going on somewhere in the body, or have experienced chronic pain over some time. And a lot of these group exercise formats that are being developed, the things that they're going to want to do to be part of a social structure where they're with a lot of groups of people, a lot of like-minded people. Gyms are I think the trend is going to be that gyms are going to now have to create choreography for group exercise, and personal trainers are going to have to be far more well-versed in health coaching. And so that's, our friends over at IOM, I'm a part of them, is we've developed curriculum in how to become a health coach so that these folks feel that when they come to a facility, that the personal trainers are now armed with the skills to be able to slowly progress them through a lifestyle and exercise program that's going to meet them where they need to be met.
Cool. Well, let's dig into that marketing piece,
right?
And how we're marketing as an industry as a whole. I mean, not everybody's doing it, but how can we change that a little bit on our ends, just as coaches and trainers that are probably watching the show?
Yeah, I think if we shift the wording away from fitness and start thinking about health, that's going to be a big, massive trend. because as we know, fitness does not equal health. You can be a super fit individual, but your long-term health benefits are not going to be the same as someone who, like, for example, someone that does a CrossFit style workout all the time. You see these CrossFit competitors, you're like, wow, these are the fittest people on the planet. And when you look at them, it makes sense. But from a cellular standpoint, they're going to have a real challenge later on in life because they are in a constant state of cellular destruction and killing cells off. And so their long-term health benefits are actually going to, well, they are already, the competitors, starting to go down. So their life expectancy is going to be shorter. Marathon runners, we see the same thing happening.
Right.
And so the folks that are doing specific activities and dedicating their life to training in one certain way are not going to have the same long-term health benefits. So I think our first recognition and thing that we need to realize is that fitness does not equal health, and that it's important to have a wide variety of activities and a wide variety of movements that you're going to do throughout the day to be able to help your long-term health benefits. And what that actually results in is successful aging, right? And so the words I think that we would say is, well, this is a health exercise program that is promoting your ability to age successfully. And if those start to become the words that we're using as personal trainers and health coaches, then I think that will be more all-inclusive. I think that's something where communities are going to be able to rally behind and be able to create social circles of, hey, having a group of people that you meet at the park and go for a walk with is a really good thing, right? And so I think what you'll start to see is bigger box gyms that they call them, the bigger folks like 24-hour fitness, Good Life in Canada. I think you'll see a trend where there'll be kind of like meet and greets, and then they'll all go do stuff together as a bit of a voyage towards health, as opposed to you're going to come in and do this exercise class. I see that trend possibly happening in the next 5 or 6 years, where it's going to be more of a social get together, and we're going to go out and maybe go for a walk around the track in the club or something like that. You know, kind of like how folks in the wintertime in Canada would meet at the mall and just walk around the mall for exercise, you know? I think it will actually start to become something that is needed because we have to move towards more physical activity instead of structured exercise.
What do you think about, and I'm sort of jumping all over the place selfishly here, what do you think about the need to spend time being active outdoors versus indoors? Is there a difference?
There absolutely is a difference. And I think where I live, I've become now living part of a concrete jungle. So I live in southern Florida. And in South Florida, while we have the beach really close, we don't tend to spend as much lengthy time at the beach. It's like, we're going to go there, we're going to hang out there for a few hours, and it's too damn hot, so we can't stay there all day. So we're going to head back inside into the air conditioning, right? And so everything is like a dose response. I think, you know, there's only so much time you can spend outside in the winter in Canada. There's only so much time you can spend outside in South Florida. But there's no doubt that we need to be more connected to nature. We need to do things that are a little bit more outside. We need to get dirty. I think we're also really afraid of getting dirty. I think it's healthy to get dirt under your nails and to be in your bare feet and be out running around in the grass in your bare feet. And I think that's something that culturally we've just moved away from. Like it's not attractive to be sweaty and dirty and filthy, and I think that's something that we need to reconnect with, is climbing trees and hanging around in the park and kind of discovering nature again, right? And you're in the perfect city for that, where it's almost like your environment dictates I need to be outside because it's so darn beautiful. I have to be there.
Yeah, it's pretty second nature out in the mountains for people who be spending time outside. We'll shut her down there. Episode 8. You got one more thing?
These 2 books right here were written by a colleague and friend of mine, and they actually really helped out. One's called Exuberant Animal, and the other one's called Change Your Body, Change the World. And these two books were phenomenal in helping me understand why it's so important to connect with nature. So if anybody's looking for two great books that you'd like to read on why it's important to connect with nature, these are two beauties.
Thanks so much for listening to 7 Movements Presents The Ask Sinner Show with your hosts, Dan Tatton and John Sinclair. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit 7movements.com and on Twitter and Facebook at 7 Movements. We'll catch you next time on The Ask Sinner Show.